Hi, this video is brought to you by Always Lifestyle. This is Chakshu Khurana, Lifestyle Disorder Reversal Expert, and today I'm going to tell you how you could heal lifestyle disorders. In this video, we are going to discuss three top most common denominators. You can call them precursor, you can call them anything, which are involved in causing lifestyle disorders and uh, leading to chronic inflammation, fueling up your disease. And the first one is hybridized wheat. The second one is dairy, and the next is sugar. So it's basically wheat, dairy, and sugar, which you should be eliminating if you want to eliminate any kind of lifestyle disorders. If you feel like I'm speaking at a faster pace, please tell me down in the comments, and you can watch this video at a slower speed. And I'll take this in my consideration the next time I'm bringing the video. Now, what I want to tell you about wheat is today the wheat we are eating is not the same as what our ancestors were eating. Wheat is actually something which is being so much hybridized today. After the Green Revolution, we have seen that wheat became so common in every part of the world that everyone started eating it. But to make that production possible on such a large scale, the wheat has to be hybridized, and which resulted in its gluten structure so complex that could not be broken down by our own GI, which is our gut. Our gut was incompatible to break down that gluten. But we have been eating a lot of wheat from our infancy, from when we were just 1 or 2 years old, in our weaning food, from cerelacs to whatever we make at home. And that you got your biscuits, your cookies, your rotis, chapatis, naan, breads, buns, whatever. So our gut actually started to take that in because we were eating anything. So our human body is actually very intelligent and very resilient to what we put it through. So it used to digest it. But today, the amount of food we are eating has increased exponentially. That is why we are seeing the rise in diseases at a younger age. The diseases were there 10 years before, but they used to progress at a later pace of life because we were eating less amount of food. And today, how the wheat is processed is a very different technique, and which makes it a gluten structure, which is amylopectin A and B, very complex for our body to grow into. So that is why we suggest eating emmer wheat or kafli wheat, and also needing a dough with maybe spinach puree, maybe peas puree, maybe beetroot puree if you could digest beetroot, and knead the dough with it. So you make a colorful rotis and enjoy that. But if you could avoid wheat, absolutely avoid wheat. And there's no question that you should be avoiding refined wheat flour, which is maida, because that actually is not ideal for us. It's a fragmented thing. We were meant to be eating all natural foods, and preferably coming from plant sources, except real cow's milk. But today, even the milk today, which brings us to our next point, which is dairy. Today, the milk we're drinking is actually not an ideal source of protein, calcium, vitamins, minerals, anything. It is just pure, clean, sterile liquid, which actually leaches out the calcium from your bones, and that if you have drank a source of calcium in that 250 ml of glass, and you feel so proud that, oh wow, I'm drinking milk and I won't get osteoporosis. But guess what? The India and US both have higher rates of osteoporosis, and both have the highest rate of dairy consumption. And people today are actually drinking a lot of milk, but they still have osteoporosis, still have brittle bones. But do you see where we are doing something wrong? We are taking milk as a source of calcium, but it is doing nothing. So you just use our mind and see that milk is not working the way it was intended to, because it was never a source of calcium in the first place. Now the milk I'm talking about, which was a food, was Korean milk, which came from A2 cow, which is desi cow breeds, and also they were grass-fed, they walked in the sun, and the milk was raw and not pasteurized. Pasteurized milk doesn't even have calcium in bioavailable form. And that is why it actually leaches out the calcium from your bones into your body to alkalize its effect on your gut. The which we drink is acidic, so it needs to be alkalized. Now, when your bones gets calcium, your bones again become softer, weaker, and then you wonder, I am taking my calcium supplements, I'm taking well anti-vitamin D, but I'm still not getting this. But I'm still not getting over this. And then there's B12, which is another big thing, which is just came out recently. And people are, getting all over it again. And this all, this is all of that which most people are in. But guess what? We could be the warriors against it. We could be the warriors for our own sake and for our families. And the next two best thing to destroy our gut, to destroy our hormone, to destroy our life, and just call it a fib of destiny is sugar. Refined white sugar. Now, with the refining process, there are a lot of chemicals used to refine sugar and we all make that. But again, sugar makes your body very acidic and our body loves alkaline environment. So to stay there, it again leaches out calcium and other minerals from our bones, and then again your bones become softer and weaker, and you feel lethargic after eating sugar. You feel you got your dopamine hit, but guess what? It sinks again, and you want another sugar, another sweet thing to beat. It never satisfies you. It wrecks your hormones. It wrecks your gut. It makes you insulin resistant. So whatever you're doing, eating your whole grain, cereals, you're eating your bajras, your millets, your wheat, thinking, oh, I'm getting over diabetes with it. You are actually not getting over diabetes if you're eating a lot of carbohydrate. It could be coming from any sources except fruits. If it is coming from tubers, it's fine as well. But eating grains and thinking fruits are bad because they have fructose, they have fruit sugar, and I would get diabetes or I would get migraine, I would get insulin resistant, I would get PCOS is absurd to think about. And you are eating a lot of wheat with that. You're eating a lot of rotis, a lot of chapatis, a lot of rice, buns, naans, bread, toast, cookies, full of wheat, full of sugar, full of maida, full of grains. And it's not only wheat, it's not only rice, it is the whole grain family. Okay, they all contain a lot of carbohydrate, which is not a problem again. For a minute, just come with me and visualize this. You are in a paradise of wheat. There's a lot of wheat growing around you, and it's ready to be harvested. Would you drool over this wheat? You're seeing the plants of wheat. They're very beautiful, actually. Golden hues. They are, waving with the wind. It's beautiful. But would you want to eat the wheat as raw, as whole, just by looking at it? Would your mouth drool? Would your mouth, will your mouth water? Well, preferably not. But now let's just go to near a strawberry plantation. Maybe there are mangoes here. There are guavas. There are papayas. There's watermelon there. Would you not want to just pluck it and eat it? They're really so juicy and tender and fresh. You could actually just plug in and eat it. So the mother nature and the intelligence of nature designed it to be eaten that way in a whole raw form. You don't have to cook fruits in any way. You don't need salt. You don't need oil. You don't need ghee. You don't need sugar for it to eat it. You could just plug it and eat it organically, raw. But then human consciousness just decided out of nowhere because they were not feeling good themselves. So they decided to feel good through eating foods. And they just wanted to eat wheat in some way. So they decided to just powder it, make a flour, then, gather a lot of water for it, a lot of ghee for it, a lot of salt for it. We need a lot of things to just make one protein. You don't need anything to eat a fruit, do you? So just think how easier your life would be if you just started eating grass. How much time would you get for yourself? You just need salads, you just need fruits, you just need nuts and seed, maybe a little amount of grain cooked food once a day. One meal a day could be grain food in small amounts or can be even a full stomach. But your lifestyle used to be such that. So for sugar, there are so many researchers which has been hidden, by whom her eating sugar is just, creating so much stress on your gut. But you don't know it because, our body is very resilient. But today, there are times it is not doing what it was supposed to doing. ADHD, dementia. What does it happen? It happens because there's sugar in the brain. The brain is bombarded with a lot of glucose, which is coming from this refined sugar. And then refined sugar makes you slave to habit. And then this slavery doesn't stay to sugar only. You could be slave to this sugar thing, to this sugar addict, but it would go and transcend to every aspect of your life, to, you know, vices, to bad habits, to be, slave of someone else's opinion. Just quality of life degrades. Start small. Take one thing. Let's say you could remove sugar today. Don't eat sugar. I don't mean that you don't need to be eating sweet things. Eat bananas, eat sapota, eat mango, eat date, eat figs. They are sweet. You could eat them. But you find pure sugar and brown sugar as well. It's not different. But what you could eat is, coconut sugar is fine. Raw organic jaggery is fine, which is brownish in color, not the yellow one. And I think there are your options and raisins as well. But most of the grapes today are sprayed with fluoride, and that comes to your raisins. So if you could get organically grown grapes or organically your raisins, dried raisins that way, that works good. But raisins are still fine even if they have fluoride. But just don't need to find white sugar, then it's dairy, then wheat. I think most people would be able to do sugar, and that should be the thing you should be looking at. And after that, you could actually do dairy. Just start small. Take it in small portion that just reduce it. Even you could make plant-based. Well, you don't need to squeeze the nuts from plant-based. Well, you just uh, blend your nuts in that water and just to drink that. Where do you want to separate the fiber and separate all of the stuff from nut? Just drink that. It's better that way. And the next thing is removing wheat. I know it may sound difficult and you just want to chop 2 millets all of a sudden. But what I mean by wheat only that reduce the portion of grains and increase the portion of legumes. You could be a masoor dal, chickpeas, lentils, moong dal, urad dal. A lot of dals being up in India. We are so blessed with that. And for wheat rotis, I would be bringing my next video on how we could make a wheatless flour for yourself and make a wheatless roti. So stay tuned for that and I'll see you in that video. Thank you for watching.